A good afternoon to you all who have tuned in here for round 4 of the AMA series here in Canada. Next to me is Christopher Raby, and on cameras today is Mike Partington, having his first outing on the cameras here. Always nice to move up into the league from driver to camera guy, right, Mike? No, but any good fun spared here. We are in Q1, and that's what I have understood the only Q session today here in AMA. Let's see now. The cars, to me, I'm completely new with the series, but the cars are looking really nice. They even sound nicer than that. Yeah, there are already some problems on the way, being AMA and all. We have noticed that even Rice, Ron Squire, Gabriel Preto, Michele Mandonza and Olef Vasilev cannot go out on track. Nevertheless, Ron Squire being Ron Squire going out on track, obviously. And that will not cook the beans of James Sadler here. Already rated before for Ron Squire. Nevertheless, how are your opinions on this series, Chris?
Oh, it's a fantastic season. I think, these guys want to be some of the best in the world, and I think, this is a good championship for people to...
The best in the world?
They want to be the best in the world.
Okay. You do know that Ron Squire is on this track right now.
Maybe I'm not talking about one Squire. You never know. But yeah, there's definitely some good people out there.
Yeah, well, to me the point of AMA is for the rookies that aren't really able to compete in the lower categories like Pro and Ace. Although Ace is already a little bit advanced and you find World Championship material there. However, in Pro, if you're still 4 or 5 seconds slower, it might be a good idea to start your FSR career in AMA. It's a nice stepping stone, and we actually see some guys who are already up to the level in Pro, but decide to do AMA first to get some experience, get some racing in them, and join Pro later. And personally, that's the wisdom I like. But yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Those people put a lot of effort into the AMA series. I know James Sadler tries a lot to keep everyone happy, and he's doing a good job of it. I think this is like his third race in AMA. Before the third round got cancelled. Hopefully these guys are happy after a little break we've had.
Yeah, we weren't happy at the time though, 2 weeks ago when, or 1 week ago, I can't even remember time. But when rFactor 2 decided to have a server problem. Nevertheless, we are fortunately back, and fortunately as well it was fixed around the start of Ace at that time, but the race already got cancelled. So, this week Canada, I am really happy to be here. Don't really like the track as much to drive. I think it's okay. Don't get me wrong. But I want to be fast, and at the moment I'm not that fast, I'm afraid. But yeah, nevertheless, it's a great venue to see some great racing here, and that's what it's all about.
Yeah, exactly.
Rather see this than freaking Sochi or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, we went through how many different versions of this track before we got this version?
I don't know.
I think it was about 7 or 8.
Unfortunately, we didn't run the 1990 version with a nice bend on the back straight. Remember nice. A beautiful scene with Senna and John Alesi there, wheel to wheel. I mean, that was something. Let's see if we can get some wheel-to-wheel racing in here. I don't know, I haven't seen, or I have seen 5 or 10 laps in Australia. But then again, we only had like 7 or 8 drivers. Fortunately, the turnout has improved quite dramatically. We now have 15 drivers, not 15 drivers on track, because they can't compete in qualify. But nevertheless, 15 drivers will compete in this race. Really being the guy who is the fastest at the moment. Gerlof de Vries is improving himself, but not quite enough to get P1 for the time being. 20.147. That's a nice time considering it's qualified GP2 cars, I suppose. I think in qualifying in Ace WC we might see maybe even 114s high, 115 low. I have been told, unfortunately. But yeah, it's not that much of the face of the FSR cars, of the Grand Prix cars.
No, not that far off. About 5 seconds roughly. They were actually quite quick in Spain.
Yeah, you have some nice straights there, but that's the thing, like 5 seconds plus minus, and not going into any names, but I remember in the pro race in Australia, which I competed in, we had some guys in qualify who were 4 or 5 seconds slower than the top runners, and you know, for those guys, it's a good stepping stone in terms of getting your pace, getting your lines ready, and if you're a starter, then it's gonna be nice.
Yeah, it's a fantastic season to get your name, name shown up, in P1, P2,
Yeah,
showing that
exactly.
you're clean,
Getting recognized.
Exactly, it's a good series for that.
I mean, you don't always have to get the results to be recognized. You know, everyone knows about Ron Squire, and he has never scored a podium, I assume. But yeah, nevertheless, you know, get your name out. And all good banter with Ron. I mean, personally, I have nothing against him. Some people do, but then again, I think it's time for me to shut up.
Yeah, lap times seem to have it seems to be staying quite the same at the minute. I mean, Gerloff de Vries, he's just set the new purple best sector for sector 1.
Yeah, I hope our FSR president Christopher Kopp can improve himself a little bit. Only 10 guys competing in this qualify, so he, you know, already P10 with 15 drivers on track. On to the back straight. Hope we are on board with Chris right now. Let's see what kind of kph he will get out of this 6th gear transmission. 300 kph, but 88 it seems. It seemed grippy though.
Yeah, these cars are super grippy and they're fantastic actually to drive. I actually feel better than the FSR car to drive.
So Christopher Kopp. And he's spinning a lot. I suppose he had his team, you know, I believe he's also a team owner together with Michi Hoyer in ACR. Supposedly, as a team owner, he should have, you know, said to his guys, like, guys, you know, I want to win this race in AMA. You know, I command you all to get me a good setup here. Unfortunately for him, he's still P9. James Early is still P1. About to do another attempt into getting, you know, in those 119s. Looking rather steady, way more steady than Chris Kopp a minute ago. Seems like he has his foot right on top of the throttle there. Fabian Roof is improving his time to a 20.2. Still not enough for P1, but at least he got Gerloff de Vries out of P2.
Yeah, the qualifying session's actually looking very close at the minute. Only half a second separating the top 5. Definitely looking a lot more competitive now.
We're trying. Let's see, qualify is almost over. And, then it's only a short warm-up until before the race is about to start. I believe we will have 35 laps in front of us, and hopefully a lot of these guys will finish. When Christopher Kopp got pushed down to P10. Still on a flyer though.
Oh, he spins it.
Yeah, he crashes horribly.
So it looks like he's starting P10.
And Dominic Foster improves a little bit. That's nice. It seems like Mark Hutchinson is the last guy to have a go at it. Fabian Roof now into the pit, so that will mean that if Gerlof de Vries cannot improve on this lap, same for Cameron Roger, James Early will start on pole position.
He's down a bit in the first sector, Gerloff is. Mark Hutchinson's actually set a very good first sector of 23.7.
Would she exit on that last corner though? Did not do it, Cameron Roger. That is Gerlof de Vries. Here he comes. Mark Hutchinson. Oh, Gerlof de Vries improves to P3. Nice job from him, be it as it may, with a few thousandths of a second. Good enough for P3. Tank Applegate is aborting his lap. Down to Mark, can he improve? It's been a long while since I've heard some proper engine sounds coming from rFactor 2, but this is definitely up there. Ooh, and indeed he is improving. Takes Cameron to P6, puts himself into P5. And there you have it. James Early on P1, Fabian Roof on P2 and Gerlof de Vries in P3.
Yeah, I'm actually quite surprised with how close the whole field has been in the session. I mean, only 3/10 separating the top 6. That's pretty good.
Yeah, it's nice to have a closely packed field.
Yeah,
Don't
exactly.
wanna fall in a deep sleep after lap 10 because there are only 5 cars and one is already lapped and stuff like that. So moving to warm up, and hopefully it's a short one.
Yeah, I think they're normally about 5 minutes.
It should be. Anyway, enough time for these guys to have a 2 or 3 lap stint under the belt in order to get all up and ready and warm for the race. I suppose these cars aren't that heavily packed on fuel. There again, 10 minutes.
Yeah, and the good thing to point out about AMA is the fact that they're not locked to their qualifying compound, so they can actually start the race on any compound they like.
But they still can only choose 2, right? Like Supercross and
No.
pit limiter. But having said that, it's a relatively short pit lane compared to Bahrain, which is actually the longest pit lane in the Formula 1 calendar, believe it or not. And that will instantly increase your pit stop time with about 6 or 7 seconds. You know, and making 1 or 2 stops extra will you know, benefit you rather less in that situation.
Yeah, I think we should be seeing about a 2-stop round here. It'd be interesting to see if anyone opts for the medium or the hard tyre, considering they are going to be a lot slower.
I don't know. I just want to get an on-board start with Ron Squire, to be honest. What does he have on his hood?
No whisper target found.
Years old, 24th of April. That's tomorrow, Ron! Well, let's all buy him a cake. It's nice
Yeah.
to see as well that some of these guys have taken the time to make a nice livery for their car, since
Yeah,
we don't have
yeah.
any teams. No, but we can create the teams ourselves, you know. Yeah.
Yeah, I know that
Ron
Cameron,
Squire is
Roger,
like
and all that.
what is it, Welsh GP or something like that.
I think he's got his own. He's definitely got his own team.
Hmm.
Ron Squire definitely has his own team, I think.
Yeah. Well, but in AMA there are no exact teams and whatsoever. You can just enter like in the winter series. Having said that, it would be nice to make some teams of ourselves, at least some nicknames. James Early would definitely be in the committed Grand Prix right there. Chris Cobb in the Burger F1, Burger GP2 equip.
Yeah, and you got Girl Off the Freeze, Cameron Roger, and Tank Applegate sporting a similar livery. Sorry, the flag to flag livery.
Yeah, Gerlof. And he will be from Leeuwarden Grand Prix. Of vieze Leeuwarden. Nah,
He's
just
got the Frisian flags on the side of his car as well.
yes he does.
It's
Yeah,
all those little details.
I just had a Dutch fun with him, but yeah, it's nice. We did have a talent in motorsport called Nick de Vries, who was and still is a talent in some areas and aspects with McLaren and the youth driver there. But it took him 3 years to clinch his first championship in the 2.0s. And then but he won everything in karting, and it's a little bit weird. Some guys still have trouble making the transition towards karts if they're very competitive, and then still win in motorsport, and definitely in the lower categories. But yeah, I am happy, however, that the pay driver system is a little bit out of order. That's something the FIA has done nicely, that you have to get a certain amount of points by winning GP2 races, championships, and so on.
Yeah,
So,
it kind of filters it out a little bit, doesn't it?
yeah, well, we still have the Marcus Ericsson and Felipe Nasser, and fortunately Maldonado is gone. Having said that, Maldonado is a more successful driver than Nick Heidfeld, and that's a little bit frustrating to say, because I always loved Nick, but yeah, he only, he had like what, 82 second places or something, and 144 third. Never a victory though.
Yeah, we have a similar. I think we have a similar licensing system now to what Formula One has with how you can progress throughout the seasons. The series, sorry.
Yeah, well, basically you have to have won a championship of GP3 or some races in GP2 to qualify to get a Formula 1 seat. But do want to point out that, I think Kevin Magnussen isn't worthy of Formula 1, but, haters gonna hate. But I do think that Jordan Palmer's instantly proving my point there, being there as a rookie, doing a much better job than Magnussen is doing at the moment, and looking a little more controlled and determined in the car, and it's really nice to have a guy like that into Formula 1, especially considering the fact that he has been not racing at all last year. He was just a reserve driver there. So.
Yeah, exactly. Looking at the warm-up lap times, it looks like we could have a good race going on between Gerlov and James Early. Let's hope their pace is like this in the race. We could actually have a very good squabble going on.
Indeed so. Well, James Sadler, the race director here, has stated that we will move into the race right about now. Not chat during the race. Keep it clean at the start, caps lock. Exclamation mark, exclamation mark, exclamation mark. And suddenly there's a wild David Rodriguez joining the server.
That's good to see. Good to see another driver come in as well. So Chris, who do you think who do you think you put your money on to win here today then?
James Early. Because he has pole position. I don't know any of these names, to be honest. Except Ron Squire.
Yeah, exactly. It looks like anyone could really win this. It just depends on if they can keep it clean, keep out the barrier, and hopefully have a decent enough strategy that they can still be up there when the 35th lap comes in.
And there we go. Ron Squire is going out on the hard compound tire. It seems at least his engine is started. And there he goes. Hopefully we can get an onboard shot of him. Because, you know, AMA being AMA, I'm not gonna give anyone a retard award here, but you know, there are certain limits as well. And hopefully he can make up with the pack. I mean, if you're 6-7 seconds slower, it's no problem. But get out of the way when you have blue flags, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
Ron is, you know, rather cautious, so I think he will do alright.
Yeah, it would be interesting to see if he actually does do hards in the race, because you never know, strategy could get him some good points today, hopefully.
Look at that. He is on the hard compound. Oh, and he catches a curb. It's a firm knock into the wall. Stop his spirit, huh? There you have. He's instantly going out of the way. So good job, Ron. Good
It's
guy
not
here.
even the race yet.
I'll put my money on Ron instead.
I'm just hoping that Fabian Roof has a decent race this time round, because he's been unlucky twice in the first two races at Melbourne.
I
and
didn't know
Bahrain.
that. Tell me.
Well, he was in second place behind me in AMA at Melbourne, and he got on the exit curve at turn 12 and spun it into the wall, so he was a bit unlucky there.
And you won the race, or?
Pardon?
Did you win the race?
Yeah, I won in Melbourne and Bahrain.
There you go, lad. There you go.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, in Bahrain, Fabian got hit by Mr. President, Mr. Cobb, on lap 1 at turn 3. So it was a bit unlucky for him as well there. He's definitely got pace to actually win, I think, if I'm honest.
Well, we are about to find out who will get into the first lap in P1. Will it be James Early? Will it be Gerard of the Vries? Will it be Fabian Roof? Nothing is certain. We are about to go racing. I don't know if there's a warm-up lap here.
Yeah, there's a warm-up lap. There was some crashes in a warm-up lap in Bahrain.
You don't say. Well, I'm happy to have AMA for that. Hopefully everyone is here. Settler is noticing the drivers that we have to be careful. Please be careful, he states. They will, have instruction.
Here we go.
Indeed, so laddie. So already some drivers on the track trying to get the heat in their engine as soon as possible. A little bit stupid, to be honest. I mean, you should wait until 5 or 10 seconds.
It does look like a car or two on the medium tyres as they get ready to go on the grid.
Well, Ron Squire's not yet on the grid though. Oh, there he goes. There
we go. We've got a race on our hands now.
Evan, press race, dude. Oh, there he goes. Yeah, that's a good lad. Okay, there we go. 35 laps. Oh, we actually do have a warm-up lap. So there we go. It seems some guys are already sort of racing or something. Well, everything alright. I'm actually quite anxious here with. It seems like everyone is getting the picture.
Looking by your race view, it looks like quite a few people have actually opted for the soft, medium, and hard tyre.
Yep.
One Squire is on the hard tyre as expected.
The majority on super soft zone. The backfield is, you know, 2 guys on mediums, then we have softs and hards. Oh, and there goes the crash. Uh-oh, behave yourself, Chris. Behave yourself. It's Matthew Tusson and
Dominic
some other
Foster.
bloke.
Dominic Foster.
Oh my god. Okay, let's see that in the replay. Dominic Foster is just driving about. And Matthew Tusson is just like, you know, I'm gonna smash you right in the gobba. Okay, but they are still allowed to start from the pits.
Yeah, they're still allowed stuff in the pits.
I can imagine Dominic Foster is like, are you taking the piss here, mate?
Kind of,
What
yeah.
the hell?
So they begin to come up to line up in the grid now. You know, James Early takes his spot in P1.
Dear God, this is appalling. So we actually have a queue at the pit stop, or at the pit.
Yeah. I don't know. I think it's like 30 to 35 seconds they've got to wait till James Sadler gives them the go ahead.
Yeah. Oh dear God. Alright, well, we are waiting for the lights to come up. James Early is on the hard compound tire. Next to him, Fabian Rush on hards as well. Who will have the better start of the two? It's lights out here, and we are going for 35 laps in Canada. James Early makes the better start of the two. Junior India is diving up the inside, and Early is overshooting it. Nevertheless, keeps P2 for the moment. Christopher Kopp is making great way up to P8 even. And
yeah, it looks like a very clean start so far.
Yeah, indeed. Indeed, and a big crash here in turn 4. And a... Ooh, I lost words. It's beyond belief. Christopher Kopp has been involved. See what happens there.
Bodywork flying everywhere across the track at the minute.
Yeah, it was between Fabian Ruth was way too aggressive on towards Ineos Valineux, and he made him spin. He continued on his way, but Olive being completely spun out obviously gets collected by a lot of guys.
Yeah, he does, and I think James Early's going to be loving that right now.
I understand his decision there, you know, but it's 35 laps long, and you know he was already half a car in front. So
yeah,
there was no reason for Fabian to do stuff like that. But yeah, that's why we have this series, I suppose. Nevertheless,
yeah,
James Early. Oh, he's actually on super soft. So well, that was a visual bug then for me. Pardon.
Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty good at the minute. I think. Let's have a look at the gap. Yeah, 2.5 seconds. That's pretty good for the first lap, I think.
I suppose it is. Well, fortunately, a lot of these guys can still continue on without having sustained a lot of damage.
Yeah, there's 3 cars in the pits right now. You got Ian New, you got David Rodriguez, and you got Christopher Cobb in there as well.
Indeed so. Dominic Foster started out of the pit. He's in P12. He is making his way up. He's in the grass, trying to overtake Ron Squire here. Look at those snails going, but at least they're giving each other the room. And in front of them, it's Michel Mendonça who has spun and tries to do a 180. And in doing that, he lost part of his rear wing as well. Driving without a front wing, just make your way back into the pit and get yourself a new one. Oh, and the Ron Squire is into the grass again. Behind him, it's Ole Vasilev. Ron Squire is being a true gentleman here, he's just like, okay, go on, you know, I'm not hurting anyone.
He's gonna get the slipstream now.
Yeah, is he gonna attack though? No. He's avoiding the slipstream. Oh no, there he is. There you go, lads. Park is on the inside. Vasiljev is defending, but he is locking up tremendously. Ron Squire is not able to go on the outside, hence there is no room there next to the Ball of Champions. So it seems that Vasiljev has P11 for the time being. Dominic Foster making his way up to the field. Like I said earlier, started in the pits, finds himself into P10 at the moment.
Yeah, just
there's a nice train forming on the front actually.
Yeah,
yeah,
it looks like Gerloff de Vries got a bit of damage at the turn 3 chicane.
Yeah, I think he did. At least he lost out on some places, and I don't think his car is completely healthy. Obviously, I alt up, so I only see the rear wing of Gerloff. So Hutchinson now on the inside of Cameron Roger. It's not going as well as planned. Tank Applegate now finds himself extremely close to Gerloff de Vries, who on his term has another slipstream. But will Tank Applegate be able to do it? He has the faster speed than Gerloff. Gerloff is on the inside, brakes a lot later. Almost finds himself into the back of Mark. But they keep it together quite nicely. Good stuff from these guys.
James Early's now extended his lead to 5 seconds. He's looking quite commanding at the minute with his lead.
I'm supposedly a team owner now, so maybe he's something for Naked Grand Prix. You know?
You never know.
No, we just have to get the contract terms. You know, the terms are so hard. You know, some people don't want to do it on principle. So, but never mind. For the time being, it's just racing, and racing. And it seems like Gerloff de Vries is gonna do something with that towards the back of Mark. Defending quite dramatically here. He knows that Gerloff is a little bit faster. That's seemingly.
He seems to be getting held up quite a bit. Mark seems to be holding.
Oh, and Ron Squire is off. If we can get the 30-second replay or the 20-second replay, what happened there? Finds himself into turn 3. No.
Oh, he still continues on, which is always good.
Oh! They made contact actually. Inuit Valine. Oh, nothing much he could do there. Ron Squire just braking so hard. He was like, okay, I'm gonna get out of the way. I'm gonna stomp my brakes and just, you know, let the guy pass. If someone's behind, but if someone's behind you, you're not gonna stomp your brakes. I mean, you would lose your license if you would do that in Pro or Ace or wherever, I suppose. Mark Hutchinson still clinching on with both hands firmly onto that 4th place. I don't know.
Yeah, it looks like a nice little battle coming along. Very nice.
Yeah, between those two and Roger and Fabian. I do believe that Fabian is like a little bit like the Dick Dastardly here of AMA. I mean, that's the impression he gave me. We're all human, of course, but that move in turn 3 and lap 1 was way too, to say the least. Nevertheless, seems like a fast bloke.
Yeah, he's very fast. One thing to point out is, are these super soft tyres actually still holding on pretty well? Because Cameron Rogers gone half a second quicker in the first sector.
Who again, Mark?
Cameron Roger has gone
He's hanging on to who?
He's hanging on to Fabian quite well. He's gone really fast in the first sector of this lap.
Yeah. A little bit of a gap being created amongst those two. Now, unfortunately, I don't have any reference in terms of grip of these cars or drivability. It seems like James Early is getting everything out of it.
Yeah, they're quite stable. They're quite stable cars on the rear. They have a lot of front grip. You can really kind of hang on with the car through the corners, and they're quite nice, I would say. They've got a lot less understeer than the FSR car as well. They're just slow in a straight line.
Yeah, relatively. I'd still. Ooh, nay!
Oh no!
Cameron Roger is crashing tremendously and he's getting collected by a guy in front.
Oh, and the sinister car's gone in the back.
Oh my god, let's see that in the replay. Cameron Roger
Tank
here
needs to retire. I
is
think she's
losing
realised
the
he's lost his
car
rear wing.
onto the curb, spins it about, and then gets collected fiercely by, I believe,
Cameron spun into Tank.
yeah, into Tank indeed.
And he's got Tank's still driving around without a rear wing on.
Yeah, Roger is as well. Seems, yeah, Roger, just park your car, dude. You've wrecked it. It's undrivable.
The lead at the front is slowly decreasing by 2/10 over the last 3 or 4 laps.
Yeah, well, I just, sorry to undercut you, but I just hope we're not getting any problem here. I mean, Cameron Roger has to press escape. He finally does so in the end. But I was very suspicious of the fact of him driving around and collecting one of the leaders, which is obviously the risk of driving without any wings and having suspension damage.
Exactly, Tank's in the pits at the minute, trying to get the damage fixed, but I don't think he'll get a new rear wing anytime soon.
And it has everything to do with that nasty little curve there.
He's got a rear wing now, for my screen.
Fair enough. It seems like Gerlof de Vries has managed in all that confusion and mess on the track to clinch himself into P3. You know, still is a long way from Fabian. Or Dick Dastardly, I'm just gonna call the guy Dick.
Okay. Yeah, so, he's as I said, he's keeping out of trouble. He had a good start. He had a good few opening laps where everyone was tripping over each other, and it kind of shows it. He's leading by at least 5 seconds. That's what I can say. He's driving very well.
We already have a lap car here. His name is David Rodriguez. But he will find Fabian Roof behind him as well in a matter of seconds. If we can go on board with Fabian Roof, let's see how David Rodriguez is handling a blue flag. AMA and all. No offense, no shots fired, but even saw basically retirements in the warm-up lap already, so wouldn't be surprised to see anything.
Yeah, exactly, anything can happen in AMA. Normally it does.
Well, at least he has the back straight right in front of him to make the pass done on Rodriguez. There you go, he should notice it by now. And there you go. Good boy there, good boy. And Christopher Kopp, after sustaining a lot of damage there in the opening laps, he is still fighting here in contention, being in P13 at the moment. And in front of him is Valineu with Mondensa.
David's now come in the pits as well. I'd be interested to see what tyre compound he puts on, because he's on the mediums.
Just came out of the pit, so he has to drive through.
Oh, okay.
Disqualified! He's got disqualified. There you go. First time I ever see a disqualify in my life in FSR, but there we go. Hopefully he has learned something. So 4.7 seconds the gap between Erdy and Ruth. Dastardly. And it's rather stabilized. Maybe James is, holding that gap and driving a little bit more stable and steady. To be honest, I have no idea. Ooh, and Micha Mondensa almost losing the car here. Getting over P11. It's good for Christopher Kopp, who is finding himself closer and closer to the two.
Yeah, the gaps between the drivers now seem to be spreading out a bit. There's not really much going on at the moment, but it looks like it would be interesting if Mark Hutchinson can keep up with Gerlof de Vries. It's 1.1 seconds at the minute, and in these cars there are no DRS, so you just rely on the slipstream of the car in front.
Yeah, I'm curious to see how this will develop though, because I do think that we still have some fighting ahead of us, especially between P11 and P12 at the moment. The pressure will be here for Valineu. And will Mondensa try to make a go for it? No, it's only a look and it's only a tap. There you go. And a big impact for Valineu here.
Chris Cobb. Oh, he gets.
Yeah, and Chris Cobb is the third. You know, it's two dogs fighting over one bone. The third one is taking it home. Valineu, remember, it is the president, not the guy you want to crash.
Exactly.
He will ban your ass. No, I'm joking. But nevertheless, Valineu is finding himself on towards the pit. And Christopher Cobb fights himself back into contention, being 1 minute and 5 seconds down to the leader of this race. But he was last on the first lap, so a steady job there. But yeah, weird incident there. I do have to say that it's Mendonça's fault, but you know, thing was, you know, it seemed kind of interesting to become a race director or something. I imagine people doing it whilst Gerlof de Vries is pitting, leaving Mark Hutchinson in P3. But you know, in here being a race director, I mean, you got homework for the rest of the weekend basically. I mean,
yeah, I wouldn't want
you
to
get
be
like 20
right
incident reports, like he hit me, no he hit me, and this and that, replay times, look it up.
Yeah, exactly.
Compared to the 1 or 2 reports at WC. Used to be different last 2 or 3 years ago in RF1 as well. We used to have like papers long, you know, rolling out of reports. But fortunately, it has been diminished. The number of reports have been diminishing a bit over the years. Fortunately, some guys are finally finding a little bit common sense here. Although sometimes we still see things that we would rather not see. Even I made a big mistake in Bahrain, crashing out name of ACR. Sorry for that, by the way. But oh yeah, David
James Early's in the pits.
You know, we're all human, but you know, at the end of the day, you know, you don't want to end your race in lap 1, and definitely not by someone else's mistake, right?
Yeah, exactly. Let's have a look. James Early's put on a set of super soft. It looks like he's going to do a 2-stop on the super soft tyres. He's going to stay with the super soft to the end of the race by the looks of it.
Will he be in front of Mark Hutchinson? Yes, he will.
That worked out pretty well for him, I got to admit.
Yeah, so now he's putting the ball at Dick Dastardly's address, giving him the choice. Okay, you're either going to pit, or you're going to, you know, lose 1 or 2 seconds a lap by now.
Well, I think Fabian could actually be looking at doing a 1-stop on the soft tyre.
Wow.
I wonder if the tyre wear on the AMA car is as bad as the FSR car.
I hope he gets some karma. There's already no instant karma here, but I hope karma will get to him though. Not wishing him a bad race, but what he did in the first laps was a little bit over-aggressive. I can see why he did it, but you know, that's definitely some inexperience there.
Yeah, it's the first lap.
That's all I want to say about it.
It's not one on the first lap. It's played out by loads of different factors.
Yeah. Yeah, there was just no gap, but
it's good to learn though.
That's for James Sadler to find out. Hopefully for him, he is not having exams right now, because you know, at least he has 2 weeks to get on bother on with the post-race checks. So Fabian Roof is still deciding to continue onwards, and pretty logical step with the soft compound tires. However, I don't think he can jump James Early with one harder compound. You know, it's not that he can do 24 laps, where James Early could have only done 12, for instance. But on the hard compound, you know, you might do a 1-stop. Sure.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. I'd be interested to see if Fabian could actually do a 1-stop on the soft tyre. I doubt it, but you never know.
Well, he should do. I mean, if he can already perform this good with competitively with this high fuel, He can already do 12 or 15 laps on softs. And switching on to hards for 20 laps shouldn't be any sort of problem. 15 on the softs, 20 on hard. I mean, come on.
He's losing a hell of a lot of time to James Early though.
Yeah, yeah, he is, but rather stupid actually from James to go back to the super softs. This should be a one-stop race. Just go medium and another medium if that's allowed, or maybe you have to do 2 compounds between, hard and medium or hard and soft.
No, there's no compound limit. You can use whatever. You can use
Medium and medium. There you go.
Yeah, medium, exactly. A 21.8 from James Early. That's pretty good, I would say.
Yeah.
Yeah, going off the freeze, he's matching James for pace, but he's about 12 seconds behind.
Yeah. Oh, and he's spinning quite dramatically there. Didn't look really nice, and he finds himself now behind the sinister car of Gabriel Pretto, who is looking rather nervous. He's like, I'm driving behind Leeuwarden. This is gonna be tensions. By the way, Leeuwarden is a city like 30 kilometers where I live, and we have a little bit of football rivalry.
Oh, okay.
There you have it. Great banter for the people at home who are Dutch.
Yeah, I spoke to our girl off the freeze after the race in Bahrain. He finished second, I finished first, and he was really disappointed that he didn't get the win. I mean, I think he's going to be disappointed if he gets nothing but a win here today, but it's looking quite slim for him to win this, I think.
Yeah, definitely, but if you did a one-stop, sure, but Okay, Fabian Roof is coming up towards a back marker. It's the name of Valleneu. He comprendes blue flag, entiendo, azul.
Yeah, we don't want another blue flag song from a driver.
Yeah.
James Early.
You know what I would think would be fair, if Fabian would lose a few seconds since he caused that horrible crash in turn 3 or 4 and lap 1. And you would have to fight alongside James Early on the pressure tires. That's what I want to see. The big gaps being created now amongst everyone.
Yeah, the gap's almost half now, but what James really needs to do for a strategy to play out is he needs to get past Fabian before Fabian hits.
Yeah, well, yeah, you're right. Not gonna do that, I think, because Fabian is doing his 16th lap by now. I think he will go into the pit either this lap or the next and take on a harder set compound tire and finish the race with that.
Yeah, exactly.
Take Applegate onto. Oh, we might have missed that. Maybe Mike Partington didn't. But Applegate overtook Vasilev here beautifully on the outside, made the move stick, and doing a fantastic move and a fantastic job there into taking P8.
Yeah, I wonder what James Sadler will think of Tank's ambitions to go back to the pits with no wings.
Yeah.
I mean, he's doing pretty well considering his car
as long
must
as you
be
don't crash
completely
anyone.
destroyed.
Personally, I wouldn't care as well. We have seen some terrible incidents last year as well, and definitely in pro, where you would get points even if you finished. So some people got the terrific idea to go on without a rear wing, without heavy suspension damage, being undrivable even at 50 kph, and crashing other people out. Michele Di Alessandro had that in pro, whilst he was second. Jeroen Kwekel, then front runner in pro, who won the race but almost got crashed out on 3 occasions in Australia 2015. Completely by back markers and people who were not obvious to what was going on around them. And that's another reason why I'm so happy that we have these drivers driving here and cocking up the warm-up lap and stuff like that, instead of seeing it in the higher divisions. Because trust me, these people are gonna learn, you know. I mean, James Sadler will just take his whip and he would just, you know, you're not gonna do that again, you know, you silly little bum.
Yeah, exactly. You know, it's
They
good
will
learning-
listen, you know.
Good learning place.
I mean, I've heard that Sadler is buying his whips at the address of nobody less than Max Mosley. So should
that's
be
right,
proper whips.
then. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, gap's come down to 3.8 now, so it's coming down quite a bit. But I'm pretty sure that Fabian will be putting in at the end of this lap.
Fabian still continuing on. Might do 2 sets of soft then. I mean, if he can pull it off the first 17 laps now, he can definitely do it with lesser fuel, you know?
This is going to be a good race, I reckon, because Fabian's going to be faster when he comes out the pits than James on the Orn Super Softs, but at the end, James Early is going to be flying.
Yep, and a lot of pit stops here. Gerrit of the Vries P3 yet again. 3.8 being the gap. Oh, 3.4 now after sector 1 between Dick Dastardly and James Early.
It'd be interesting to see what the stewards think after the race of that.
Stewards? You mean James Sadler?
Yes.
Like I said, he's gonna crack out the whip. And 3.0 now the difference. This is the moment where Fabian is losing tremendous amount of time. And he's already halfway now, past the halfway point actually. In lap 18. So he should be going into the pit. I have a feeling he's not going to though. Yep, he is.
Yep, there we go.
Never mind. Okay, there you go. Giving the lead back to James Early. But, you know, he should pit now as well to cover him off, you know. I mean, there's no point in losing 3 seconds the next 3 laps, for instance. And therefore, you know, pitting and you know, hoping that in the last 3 laps you can gain those 3 seconds back, because that's not how it works. Definitely not if you're in dirty air. I have no idea, and I do not know how strong dirty air is in this mod, so.
Dirty air's not too bad. The slipstream is very strong.
Coming from a guy from England, you know, with the terrible weather, a terrible wind, you know, that's probably a pretty firm dirty air then. Is it raining if you look outside right now?
It's actually quite sunny.
Oh, don't say. I'll take a picture. Instagram. It's sunny in Britain. Yay.
Yeah, I'll send you a picture on Facebook later.
Mike Partington in the commentary box. It's true. Oh, and why do? Oh no, I was thinking I might have a alt stop bug. I have to restart my rFactor just to get up onto some banter. So James Early not pitting yet again. He has relatively new super soft tires, relatively old or something. But you know, now the tide has changed. And oh, Fabian, what are you doing? That's the karma, dude. That's
there
the karma. There you go, park the car. Bye bye.
Gerloff is going to be loving that.
Yeah, he's gonna love that indeed. There you have it.
Wow.
Karma finally caught up to him. Not happy he crashed, but you know, whatever. I have to point out again, I thought it was really cheeky what he did in that one. But yeah, he is out of the race. I wouldn't given him the win, that's all, you know. Good result, okay, but hopefully now he won't get a penalty, because this is quite hard as well.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, if you got a penalty, if I get probably a back of the grid for next race at the most,
well,
probably.
Indeed, but you know, that's how I see it. But nevertheless, the guys who were involved in the crash should say, you know, ban that guy.
Yeah.
But this will obviously mean that Mark Hutchinson finds himself back into P3, and he's like, hey, I fancy that. let's look out for a podium. And Evan Rice, or however I should pronounce it, is suddenly coming into his second life as well.
Seems to be a bit of a scrap coming on now between Matt Hewson for 7th place.
Yep. Ooh, and Christopher Kopp jumps up another place because of the Dastardly's crash. Oh, there you have it. Kopp actually gonna fight with Mendonça. Will that be a fierce battle? Oh, well, fierce battle on towards the grass. That's like synchronized lawn mowing.
It's a bit of a battle coming on with Matt Hewson now and
Yeah.
Ole.
But it's understandable. I mean, sometimes when you're following a guy and he, overbrakes or outbrakes himself and locks up, then you'll do the same, because you're in that flow. Except if your name is, one of the top guys in WC. Simply, if you see someone driving in front of you, just think like, get out of the way, The Dutch highway mentality, get out of my way. I need to be places, and I need to be there right now. I'm in a hurry.
Yeah, exactly. So Matt Hewson's now up in 7th place. He's pulling away from the car behind you on the medium tyre. Yeah, the field team is pretty spread out now.
It sure is. Yeah, what to say further? Huh? Everyone is driving in their zone, everyone is doing their thing.
Yeah, exactly. James Early is just, I think, cruising now, yeah, because Gerloff's on the same strategy, so is Mark. Evan Rice maybe isn't really going to be a threat to James now, unless James makes a mistake. But yeah, I mean, James Early's got one more stop, probably put the super softs back on, and then that's it. It's quite hard to keep concentration when you're quite far out in front as well. Especially when it's Canada, you don't really want to lose concentration at any time, really.
2 crashes. Hopefully I can reconnect without causing a lag, right?
Hopefully.
I don't want to be the guy to spoil someone's race.
I think that issue's been fixed now, isn't it?
Well, it should be a nice, easy win now for James. 16 seconds into the lead, can afford himself a fresh set of new tires without losing it. Pretty boring actually. You drive alone in the front as much as he did. Had a conversation once with Bono Huis where he stated that he wants, I believe in 2011 or something, his most dominant year there, I believe, where he actually, waited a little bit and held back for P2 to just have a little bit of a fight, And that's the attitude with those guys. They are only becoming the quickest because they want to be the quickest, and they're like sharks. They want to hunt, and then if they find themselves without any more competitors, they get bored. That's the thing, and that's beautiful.
Yeah, and Gerloff de Vries is now just pitted for another set of super softs, so he's going to the end. 13 laps to go, so he's splitting that 13, 13, 12 probably. So yeah, it's looking pretty good. Are you able to reconnect to the server?
Yeah, I'm working on it. Or let's give it a go.
hopefully won't cause any issues.
Listen, James Early's on a fly at the minute.
Yeah, and a lot of guys on one lap down already. Chris
Yes,
Cobb
James-
doing the sensible way of getting out of the way of James Early.
Yeah, so James Early pitted last lap for his final stop.
Finds himself into the slipstream of the leader of this race.
Yeah, I hope Chris Cobb doesn't overtake James Early. Oh, it doesn't look like that's going to happen now, but yeah, Chris Cobb does have the right to overtake James Early, but only if he feels quick enough. But he seems to be dropping back quite a bit.
Once had that with Jos Verstappen, the dad of Max Verstappen, obviously, in 2001 or 2, and with Montoya
Yeah,
in Brazil. Montoya was leading the race, and he braked a little bit earlier than Verstappen, and Verstappen just rammed him off out of the lead. Montoya even waving to the crowd like, whatever, see you, bye, I'm off to McLaren. Fabulous driver, by the way. I mean, I don't know if you guys remember Montoya's move on the outside of Michael Schumacher in bus stop, the old bus stop in Spa. But if you can do that at Schumacher's address, you know, you're just the one cheeky bastard, seriously, and I love that.
It's just nice seeing drivers overtake cleanly and get us on the edge of our seats.
Yeah, but that move was like definitely in my top 10 of best overtakes ever. It's like completely caught Schumacher at surprise.
It was a very good move. Very.
Yeah, oh well. Suddenly I'm thinking about another dad and son relation with the Villeneuves. You know, you got legend Gilles Villeneuve. You got the crappy guy, Jacques Villeneuve. I'm the least of fans of that guy, seriously. He always has a big mouth, knows everything about everything.
Yeah, I'm not a Villeneuve fan, if I'm honest.
Yeah. Christopher Cobb now on the address of Mendoza. Ooh, and does a fabulous job overtaking him. Finds himself into P11 now. There you go, Chris. I don't know about the point system here. The first 10 only take points or whatever.
I think it's similar to Pro, I think. I'll double check a minute.
Well, you know, remember the good old days in Formula 1 where the first 6 would only get points. We even had, like in the 80s, we had first 4, I believe. We had like 9, 6, 3 and then 1 points or something like that.
Yeah, it was some weird point system.
Yeah, but even then, you know, with the first 6 scoring points in the magical era of Formula 1, the peak in the early 2000s, even teams like Minardi would score 1 or 2 points, you know, during a season, and that's why I thought the new teams were so incredibly ridiculous when we had Virgin Racing and HRT and whatever kind of crap teams. Then again, I am happy that Haas F1 is doing a nice job and being a new team and scoring points and being instantly up with the new teams. Having said that, they obviously did buy everything that they could have bought from Ferrari, so it's basically a slower Ferrari in a sense, but I think it's good for Formula 1, you know?
Oh, exactly. It's fantastic for Formula 1.
It's better than to see some Caterhams fucking up, you know, the field and having shitty drivers and whatsoever.
We just had a question coming from the YouTube stream from Justin saying, is this tyre model the same as in the other series? Yeah, yes, the tyre model is exactly the same as what are on the other FSR series cars.
Idea. I would assume they will, if they are the same tires, then they will sustain less pressure and less stress than with the Formula 1 car, since it's going slower. So, you know, that's an interesting perspective.
They are. You can burn them up a little bit more than the FSR car, the Formula One car. You can lean on them. You can lean on them quite a lot more as well and run lower pressures.
Carlos de Vries now 1.5 seconds behind Mark Hutchinson. Has to carry on with it. Only 7.5 laps to go remaining in this race.
I still think Mark's got another pit stop to make though.
But he shouldn't. I mean, whatever. I mean, his gap towards P4 is like 13 seconds. So if he is pitting, then he's losing or he's going towards P4. And if he's not pitting, well, he already has P3. So Gerloff obviously does have the fresher tires. So I do think we will see a nice move in the end of this race. Or maybe Evan Rice will take P2 and those guys will crash each other out. But,
oh, don't commentator curse them.
No, I'm not.
Yeah, I reckon this should be a clean overtake if it does happen.
Sorry, what did you say?
It should be quite a clean overtake if it does happen.
Yeah,
I think
every overtake should be clean, and that's obviously the intention of every driver, but sometimes egos do collide. And that's the way I see it. But sometimes, you know, you make a little bit of a mistake as well. I mean, everyone sometimes does something that they rather wish they should have done differently. Then it already happened, and you know, the most important thing is that you learn from that. But at the time being, especially for the guy you have crashed out of the race or you have sustained damage with or towards, it's frustrating. You know, and that's what I had in Bahrain. I was so frustrated. I did have a good race, but I knocked someone out, and I was it really put a wet towel on the feeling, on the good feeling that I had, you know, about race. I was like, yeah, well, you know, fuck it.
Yeah, exactly. You never want to have an incident. I think most of the grid here don't want to have incidents. I think probably all of them don't, but yeah, sometimes inexperience and
yeah, true,
confidence gets out the way.
But again, I am a very aggressive driver, and I often let others to decide, you know, I'm gonna take this corner and I'll let you to decide what to do, but if you steer into me, we're gonna have a crash, so they have to move. But then again, I can only do that if they leave the door wide open, you know, and that's racing there for me. And if you do dive bomb, there's nothing wrong with a dive bomb, but if you leave enough space on the exit, then it's all okay. And sometimes the exit is in your favor, then you can, you know, cut someone off a little bit, but all in good manner, you know, if you're already past it. You know, if there's an obvious gap that's gonna disappear, then no problem. But you know, I do have to say that if you don't defend like Felipe Massa did in his last race, you know, and you just let people pass and do whatever and drive your own stint, you know, then obviously you will be taken advantage of.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's no problem as well. Some people choose to not attack and just like, okay, I'm just gonna drive my laps. I'm just gonna race against the clock, you know. I don't want to get bothered on with losing 4 or 5 seconds with a stupid battle. You know, sometimes I have that as well. But sometimes I think, okay, I'm fighting with this guy. I'm gonna pit in 5 laps time. It's really important that I, you know, keep him down to me. I'm gonna stop rattling on about myself now because Christopher Kopp almost made a move stick tremendously well with Vasilev here, but Pace decided otherwise. Great defending from Vasilev as well, has to be said. Now the gap is a little bit too far for Chris to make a move. However, he can almost touch the rear wing of Vasilev by the looks of it. With 5 more laps to go for these guys. It's gonna be interesting.
Yeah, exactly. It'd be nice to see Chris Cobb gap in the points. I mean, he was in, for the first 2 races, he was in 4th place for both 2 races, so hopefully...
Yeah, he had that incident in lap 1.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, by the way, Mark Hutchinson is finding himself obviously still in P2. His life will get a little bit worse since Vasilev and Kopp are fighting right in front of him. They're about 3 or 4 seconds along the way. And hopefully they can, you know, find the room and space to come onto the blue flags. Kopp is now very close to Vasilev indeed.
I wonder if Chris Cobb will use his brain here when when the leaders come through and use the fact that the other driver needs to slow down to get past him.
Dude.
Just see if he can use his mind a little bit and see what happens.
Of course he's using his mind. He's an American. He's like, America, we're here! So hopefully here he comes. Christopher Kopp on the toe of, nice toe of Vasiljev. Vasiljev a little bit swirling along the track. And braking really late. Spinning and losing his edge because of that. Finds himself being overtaken by the blue flag guys. So that might be positive for him. Since Vasiljev still has to, you know, make them pass. It's a fierce battle between the Vries and Hutchinson as well, to say the least.
I wonder if that's a sign of a brake issue for Chris Cobb.
No. I mean, he was completely surprised by the relatively, slightly, little bit earlier braking. He tried to stick as close as possible, and then he just lost it on the brake. There was no issue there, and he's almost losing it again on the cheeky curve there. But if you lose it, it's fatal.
Yeah, exactly. It is quite a little cheeky curve, as you call it. Yeah, you get on that. Sometimes you can easily spin it. Sometimes you can get away with it.
And De Vries now on to Hutchinson. Hutchinson not defending the outside. That would be a perfect diving opportunity, but Gerloff is way more patient than I am, I guess.
Yeah, he's gonna get good toe
Hutchinson
down
does
here.
get the better exit though. But here is the long straight. That does remind you a little bit of Monza or whatever. At least here De Vries comes. Hutchinson defending quite superbly here. There is no way De Vries can do this on the outside, and Hutchinson knows that.
Yeah, it looks like he could get a good run into turn 1 if the slipstream's being good to him. Yeah, definitely Gerloff definitely has a big advantage in terms of grip.
Vasiljev still in front of them though, 3 laps to go. Basically 2.5. Also for the other guys being lapped around here.
I do kind of feel sorry for James Early because he's not getting much attention considering he's nearly 19
Vasiljev has
seconds in the
spun!
lead.
Vasiljev has spun! He's wide on top of the track. That leaves Chris Kopp on P10 again. This perseverance will be paid off with P10 for the time being. Matthew Tussen is way too far away on the head, but this P10 must already be a relief for Chris. Gerloff de Vries can have himself another go if he finds himself a nice exit here. Hutchinson is definitely cocking up his exit or corner there. This might be close enough for Gerloff. Vries here coming on towards the back of Hutchinson. Maybe throw in a dummy there. He has to make Mark, you know, break later on the outside. That's not gonna work. It's never gonna work.
Oh, a bit of a wiggle there from Mark.
And to be fair, you know, Mark can slam the door there in that chicane. I don't care. You're not gonna give any presence there. Gerloff is trying everything. He's got almost making contact here. They do make a little bit of contact, but it was just a racing incident here. Here you see that Gerloff's tires are much fresher than Mark's. Mark is still on the inside, does have the racing line and uses a lot of aggression, but well-timed aggression to keep Gerloff behind him.
Yeah, exactly. Good bit of racing by both there. They knew exactly how much space to give each other, and they're doing pretty well, I would say.
Yeah, and here, Gerloff might do it. Ooh, no, he had to hold back there a little bit, but he seemed rather good in his exit. A bit tricky overtaking here, but he just has to brake a little bit deeper here, or just park it along the inside.
I think he's thinking more of the championship.
Oh, he's doing
really.
it. He's doing it.
Even though it's only round 3.
He's on the inside. They almost make contact. But here we go. Now it's just a pure drag race, and Gerloff has it. Gerloff has it here now. Mark is on the outside. Gerloff is already alongside, but it has the racing line. And it's now a pure downforce battle. Mark is alongside, but in front again. Who can break the latest of the two? And it's the inside line of Gerloff de Vries and the instinct of Mark Hutchinson that he was completely right there. He thought this is Gerloff's corner. I have to make way for this, unfortunately for him. But a great bit of racing here and a nice bit of instinct from Mark as well to keep both of their podium aspirations live.
Yeah, exactly.
Because that's what that was.
Yeah, exactly. Fantastic move from Gerloff there. You know, good spatial awareness, really. You know, I think
Well
that was a
said.
good bit of battle, and you know, hopefully there's more of that to come this season.
Indeed, and we just came to a brilliant action on the long back straight, but we're now going back to the back straight to James Early, who has driven a superb race here. Not with the optimum strategy, but nevertheless, he brought it home and he finishes in P1. As long as he keeps us on the track right here. The tension here building up, the shark noises. No, but he's gonna take it home here. Takes the full bag of points with him and comes on to the home straight one more time to clinch his first win, his win here in Canada in round 4.
I'm pretty sure we'd be very happy with that.
Yeah, definitely, and brilliant praise from him as well. Gerloff de Vries in P2 doing a fantastic job as well. And yeah, 6 guys are not on the lead, or are only on the lead lap. So Gerloff on the podium here, P2, Mark Hutchinson on P3. And there you have it, the podium of this race. Evan Rice drove a little bit in the dark, haven't seen much of him, but that doesn't matter a thing because he's taking home P4 and he's seemingly happy with that, and he should be, because it's a nice result for him to take home. Same for the sinister car of Bretto, who is driving home to P5. And no matter if Tank Applegate presses escape, now he will be in P6.
Yeah,
because
quite good.
The rest is in 1 lap down.
Yeah, exactly. Quite good. Good race for Tank actually, considering he had his front rear wing and front wing gone halfway through the race. To get 6th is pretty good. Yeah, good job from James really. You know, getting the front. You know, kept himself to himself really, and didn't get any squabbles because he was out in the lead.
Indeed. So that was a nice bit of racing, a little bit boring in the middle, but fortunately they did save the best for last for us, and Gerloff should be happy with P2. Unfortunately for him, P1 was not amongst the possibilities after that horrible lap 1, but you know, that's racing as well.
Yeah, exactly.
The same with Kvyat and Vettel, you know, like he dove on the inside like a torpedo. He's like, yeah, that's racing, you know, don't leave a gap, you know, go home, cry. Big fan here though. Sad to see Kvyat leaving for Verstappen next year, but you know, that's all. No, it's gonna happen. You know,
Okay.
it's gonna happen. That much I know. So it seems like a bit of a nice fact to go off topic once more. That Max Verstappen has a clause, if I say that correctly, in his contract that after 2 years he has to be promoted to a top team, to Red Bull Racing, or he is free to move to another stable. And if that's gonna be the case, he already has a testing contract with Mercedes. So.
Oh, so that's gonna be very interesting.
Yeah, he's set. I mean, that's what the Dutch commentator said in the commentary last time around. He's a really nice guy, and you know, reason for me to assume that's gonna happen. And but yeah, for now, it has been a nice race in AMA, and I'm really curious what these guys can do in Silverstone, which would be a great venue for a GP2 race. Remember the Formula 3 or the 2.0 race last year in Silverstone, where we had a car flying like 8 or 10 meters into the air. I'm literally not joking. You know, fortunately nothing serious happened. But
yeah, exactly. It's been a very good race, I think. You know, yeah, you expect there to be boring parts, but overall it was pretty good.
Yeah. Time for me to test for Ace, obviously.
Yeah, exactly.
Got my hands on a nice Mike Partington setup.
Oh, you?
That's gonna be
good.
Yeah, he sent it to me.
Oh, that's nice of him.
It's gonna be nice. Yeah, definitely. Isn't that so
good luck
nice?
anyway.
No, but thanks for watching, everyone. We will be back with the Ace broadcast in about, what was it again? 1 hour? 1.5 hours time? Something like that.
Not too far away.
Not too far away indeed. So, you know, get your popcorn, get your dinner ready, get your boerenkool met worst. I don't care. And hopefully see you in a bit. Thanks for tuning in, and bye bye for now.